you.
I gotta find out how to spell it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Lloyd.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week on this October the 4th of 2021. I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn here with Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is to me the joy of learning and enlightenment. Because once you deal in this subject, you cannot help but be enlightened. A couple of things I want to mention. First of all, as I mentioned, I always mention where the cosmic forecast or the cosmic live with Lloyd is. For people that know, the sun is in the sign of Libra. The moon is in the sign of Virgo, which happens to be the zodiac sign of my guest that's going to be on in a few minutes. Tomorrow at 8:41 p.m., we shift from the moon shift from Libra. From Virgo into Libra. And in addition, on Friday, in and of itself, it will be what is called a new moon. Now, for those of you uninitiated who may not be familiar, a new moon means when both the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same time. Okay. So once you get that, then you will find that normally, anytime you want to get something started, always on a new moon, either the day before or the day of or the day after. Normally, that's the best time for surgical procedures, launching businesses, whatever the case is. But since Mercury's been retrograde, let me explain what happened. Last Wednesday, the guest that you're going to see in a moment, I had on, and I'm thinking that we're doing this live. Well, do you know Lloyd Strayhorn did not push go live with Lloyd? And I couldn't figure out why people were trying to reach me. They was trying to call me. They were trying to text me. And I'm saying I'm not answering nobody because I got to focus and I got to guess and I got to work all these digits and stuff like that until I get this straight with a moderator that I got in place. I just got to get that started. And so it was so, boy, talking about, I guess, embarrassed or whatever. I wasn't embarrassed. It's like, yo, you know how you say, well, Mercury is retrograde, which I talked about a week ago or yesterday. I mean, a week ago, last Monday on the 27th. So that was what happened. Okay. But anyway, just a couple of announcements before I bring on my guest, Nicki Monty. And by the way, do you know I had nerve to spell the sister's name wrong too? Instead of Nicki, Nicki, I had it Mickey. So boy, if Mercury retrograde wasn't kind of showing itself, I don't know what to say. So this time I got it right. Okay. No question. I got everything right. So anyway, just a couple of announcements. The October newsletter that Kaya French and I do every month is out. So for those of you who are subscribed, you should be getting it. In fact, I'm almost sure you got it when you check your email. For those that are very new and you want to find out what's going on in your stars for your sign, I would suggest that you sign up, go to my website, lloyd-strayhorn.com, and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. You can also link up to Kaya French. Hers is kayafrench.com. You can sign up and go there. But the point is, you will get our monthly newsletter for the month of October. And also, today is the last day, because they always have flash sales, and you got to get it through my website. I have 2 online courses called Learn with Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book for Beginners, then Learn from Lloyd, the next step in numerology, which is designed to kind of incorporate more intermediate and advanced. I can tell you this, even if you're advanced, sign up for the beginners. Even if you're a beginner, sign up for the intermediate and advanced too, because you will learn it once you get there. So that's on sale. The sale ends tonight, midnight. The cost of owning both the courses is less than lunch for 2, okay, nowadays, all right, which is very inexpensive. You own it. You get certifications for other courses that you finish. So I suggest you sign up. Now, with that being said, I'd now like to bring on my special guest. Her name is Nicki Monty, and let me see. Good, unmute. Nikki, are you with us? Okay, Nikki, there
Hello.
you go. Hey, how you doing, kid? I was
Hey,
gonna
how you
say, boy,
doing?
Mercury retrograde is acting up again.
Oh no.
How are you, my dear? How you
I'm
doing?
doing well.
I
I'm doing
say,
well.
I say. Listen, you see, I had to get it straight about what happened last Wednesday when you were on, or at least I thought you were on. Well, I
Yes.
enjoyed our private conversation, so now we're going to share with the public, okay? So
Okay.
they can chime in. And by the way, this extraordinary guest that I have on today does quite a few things, and good. So people are chiming in. Very, very good. Um, Today's her little sister's birthday, October the 4th. Well, happy birthday to you. But right now, we're going to focus on Nicki Monty. And Nicki is a Reiki teacher, master, or is it Reiki master teacher? Which comes first?
Reiki master teacher.
Reiki master teacher. Okay.
Hmm.
For those, I'm going to start off exactly. I can't remember the exact same questions, but I know you were so articulate. But let's start from the beginning. To an uninitiate, what is Reiki?
So Reiki is a modality that is used to assist someone in just everyday life. So it is Reiki means life force energy or God force energy. So, what we're doing as people who administer Reiki, we're channeling an energy from the universe, from the creator, from source, and we're administering this healing through our hands. Similar to when people were going to church and you'd have the group of women that would lay hands on someone that
Yeah,
needed some
yeah.
assistance. It's the same concept. Um, the only thing is that this system is recognized and has been brought to the West from Japan, and we've all been energy healers. You know, our hands are our first medicine kit. So when you lay hands on someone, that touch in itself, I call it human touch, but that human touch, that touch of love in itself is healing. So we're just calling in more energy to assist people from a cellular to a spiritual level in all aspects of healing.
In Reiki, do you put your hands on the person or you can put your hands over the person, or is that an option? Does that make sense?
Both of them are options. It depends on if the client is comfortable with hands being laid on them, or sometimes they may have ailments, pain, discomfort, or may not be comfortable with touch.
Ah,
So you can hover your hands over. It's just as effective as laying hands. Me personally, I like to lay hands because when you're administering touch to someone, it's an interaction of presence and care and more deeper level of connection that I like to feel and to give to a client.
well, let me ask you this. What is the difference between Reiki, which is hands on
Mhm.
or hands over, versus a person who massages? Isn't that kind of one and the same? Wouldn't they say that's one and the same? No?
No, Reiki is just like massage. They're both intentional, and we do work with our hands. A lot of masseuses that I know are actually Reiki practitioners, so they combine the two to enhance the effects of the healing through massage. So Reiki is really just an enhancement to other protocols of healing or other modalities of healing. You can use it by itself and use your hand, but we're not massaging anyone. We're literally just laying our hands in specific energy centers, points, joints, or places where we know that there is some type of harm or disease in the body, or where someone is wanting to receive healing.
Question. How in the world did you get started? And you know we got to talk about them gongs behind you and all that stuff too. But
Yes,
how in the world did you get started? Because we all have a journey that we
yes,
take that leads us to the present path that we're in. Okay.
yes.
So what led you to Reiki, to then tuning forks, to then bowls, to gongs, and goodness knows what else you may provide? Because I think you also have a musical background too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I
So
do.
what led you to
So,
all of this?
just growing up in Europe, the first 10 years of my life, my mother was very involved in music. She was a singer. My father comes from a musical family as well. They're from Puerto Rico, and my mother's from Cleveland. So there was a lot of things that transitioned around them growing up and in their life. that assisted in bringing them music and having us as children involved in a lot of musical aspects such as drumming or playing the keyboard, saxophone, guitar, recorders and flutes, things of that nature. And life happens. I got married, had children, but then I started getting back into music. I actually interned at Bad Boy for a bit of time when I lived in New York City. And when I left there, I came to Atlanta, and then I went into the studio, and it just started from there. And I produce house music, I produce techno, I produce deep house, Afro house, all these other genres of music, and I also DJ. But when everything shut down, then I was able to really focus and hone in on the healing aspects, the things that I've been doing in the background while I was still creating music and all these other things. And with everything that's transpired in, late 2019, 2020, this year, I just decided to wholeheartedly focus on the analog music, analog aspects of music, which is what you see behind you and what I'll share with you to assist in healing, because I feel that I've been called to that, and that music will always be there. But how you utilize music and how you administer healing with sound is something that brought me to what I do today.
Question. Now, you had talked about the fact that I think something happened, and you went to a lady's house, and her whole house was developed like with sound instruments and stuff. I think that's how you were first introduced. Can you tell us about that?
No, that was Reiki.
That was
That
Reiki.
was with Reiki, yes. So that's how I was introduced to Reiki when I received my first session.
Hmm.
And that's when I was living in Miami. And it brought me so much peace and clarity and happiness. And I felt like I was being loved all over, and an opportunity to release things that I was holding on to from
Hmm.
trauma and tragedy. So after I received my first treatment of Reiki, I said, this is something that I want to do. I want to be able to receive. I want to be able to give. I want to share this with everyone. And that was in, what, 2012, or I think it was December of 2012 when that big shift
Yeah,
was
yeah,
happening, and everyone
yeah.
was like freaked out, and I said I need to calm down, and work was very tough, and family life. So that brought me to Reiki. Reiki brought me deeper into the healing aspects of sound, and then more. It keeps getting deeper and deeper. So Reiki was like my gateway
Now,
to all
what
healing.
is the nature of sound and healing? Is it the resonance, the vibration, or call it what you will?
Well, there's many different aspects to it. Let's just say, for example, how does music make you feel? All these collections of sounds and drums, and how it moves you, how it makes you feel in your heart, what it makes you think about. Um, does it inspire you? Does it make you sad? And what I noticed is, as through working for so long with frequencies, I started to research, if I'm making this music and it's healing me, what notes am I playing? What frequency is this? And is this really helping me? Some music that I made actually inspired me, or it put fire in me so that I can be motivated to move forward and to release things from myself. And then I started studying specific frequencies, different octaves, what they do, what has been studied. And I came to the conclusion that it's really a combination of frequency and intention. So with the music that we're
Uh,
listening to today, it's not necessarily positive music. You can clearly hear the direction as to where the music is going, especially with the youth. So, and what you hear in that music, you don't hear from the equipment that I have, because it's clearly it's in another dissident aspect of music, of healing. So it's not healing, it's actually destroying. It's messing with your cells, it's messing with your brain, your nervous system, your emotional body, all different types of things. So
are people
it's
aware of this, you think, or
not
does this
really.
explain some of the craziness that people react to? I mean, people now seem to be doing some very crazy things against one another, their loved
Mhm.
ones, their children. That really doesn't make sense in the time we grew up as kids. Do you think that? Well, let me ask you this: you're saying that certain frequencies have a certain purpose or intention in the healing process. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. There's been studies that show certain frequencies actually assist, and I'll play a couple of those as well.
Okay.
They are within the solfeggio frequency scale, and I'm I can't really say it off the top of my head, but there's a specific number arrangement of frequencies that go from low to high to
Mm-hmm.
assist people in physical healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing, and different things. So, not that I necessarily utilize those frequencies all the time, but there's a difference between 440 hertz, 432 hertz, what you use it for, how you use it, and there's a big conversation about that in the sound healing industry right now. What is more beneficial? And a lot of people use 440 for entertainment. People use the 432 for healing. And it's not just those two numbers, it's what happens all in between the notes. You know, the scale is just, it's such a fine tune between 440 and 432. 432 is a little bit slower, it's more calm. 440 is um, slightly higher, but it has a higher vibration.
But
And
it
that
says
it,
it also causes, for people who might be interested, if you look and Google 440, yes, that is the music that's played, but they says the end result is that it can be disruptive as well as
Mhm.
destructive. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering, is that why we are beginning to see some of the drama that goes on? People don't want to act like human beings from the spiritual side. Well, you know, I'm a numerologist, so I'm going to break down what I know. That
Yeah.
963, which has 18 or 9, is for the spiritual healing, the brain, the pituitary gland, you know, things of that nature. Where the, I think it's the 528, which is 15, which is 6, is the healing, the DNA healing, or something like that. But these frequencies seem to have that. Question: how long, if a person is using these frequencies, how long should they sit and listen to it? Should they have it run overnight? Do you listen about 10 minutes a day for every day for a week or two, or does it all depend on the person or that individual call, if that makes sense, Nikki?
Well, for me, I could listen to it for 3 minutes, and it just depends on my mind state, because even as a healer, I still need support throughout the day. So what I would do is I would sit with my 528 hertz tuning fork, and I will play the key of C, and then I'll play 528, which is a high G, or I'll play 286 which is a lower C, and then my 528, which is the high C, and then I'll play um, I forgot the one that play in the middle, the G. I don't know, I don't remember the frequency, but it's C and G, so I play a perfect fifth, and it helps balance the brain and the body and get it back to center. So I'll do that for myself for a couple of minutes, and it's such an etheric, beautiful sound that I automatically start smiling because I could feel the sound supporting me. And if anyone hears that, or if it's played C and G together in the same octave, it's going to assist you in bringing you back to center. It doesn't take long. Sound is going to do what it needs to do, whether you hear it for 5 seconds or 8 hours. It's nice
Wow.
to have it for a longer period of time, obviously, but to sleep with it overnight, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, because I wouldn't want somebody's phone next to their head at night with all the frequencies that come from the phone in itself. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Makes
can play
sense.
it first thing in the morning, or when you're showering, or while you're reading a book. You know, I always say 528 because that's something that starts within the physical body to assist in all the other changes that are needed and necessary, because
Mm-hmm.
it goes to your brain, it gets into your nervous system, it starts to rewire you. Sound actually programs and wires you for success or for failure within yourself and in your spirit.
But you
So,
know, when you say that, I like, I don't like spooky movies, but I tell you, it's interesting when there's a very horrific scene coming. The music is played at a certain pitch, and you know right away. It's like grab your
yes,
lady, grab the popcorn, grab something or something of that
yes.
nature. You know.
And
So
that's
I
the
imagine
cure.
it's right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the curating of the sound. So let's just say people that are doing music and that are doing sound, many of us are aware of this, and we continue to do specific things that benefit us with the sound. So there are a lot of people out here that are still creating music that are aware of this, but because everyone has been set to this 440 or have been listening to it for so long, when they listen to 432, it sounds completely different. And it is something that you have to acclimate to. But once you get into it and start really utilizing these sounds and these frequencies to assist you, be it from 50 hertz all the way to 1500 hertz, there's so many layers to it, and they all do something different, but they're all beneficial once you find the tone that works for you. I personally like deep tones because I feel like it shakes out anything that is not productive or helpful for myself in my body or in my mind. So that's why I
Well,
have these
that's
two
funny. I like
frequencies.
deep tones too. The deeper the better. It's like it for me.
Yeah.
Deep tones is almost resonating through my body. I can't explain it, but
Yes.
sound is very, very important. Question: which came first, like the chicken or the egg? Was it the tuning fork first? Was it the bowls, or was it the gong, or vice versa? And tell me how you started on each.
Um, I I'm not sure which came first, but if when I listen to these sounds, I don't think any of these came first. Honestly, the
Hmm.
first instrument that we have is our voice. That's the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
instrument, and people actually use their voice in a way called toning, and they sing specific tones so that they can utilize their own voice to vibrate their own body to heal their organs and to
In the
heal their
East, for
mind.
example, they do the what is called the Om sound.
Yes.
Om, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Something like that.
Yes. So there's different pitches that you can use to heal your inner body as well, to help flush your organs, to help with elimination through your stomach and your intestines and your colon, or to clear your throat, or to assist your mind state, or to activate things in your body. So some people go within with their own voice, and then some people use these tools. But when it comes to tools, they have primordial gongs that are made from stone, that people are starting to understand, like
Mm.
making noise with stones, making noise with sticks. What did our ancestors do when they first, came to this earth, or whatever you believe in? What did they utilize? So were they carving up animals right away and making drums? Probably not.
Yeah, I
So
don't think so
anything
either.
that's, things that we would use for sound out in the woods, like sticks and rocks and things like that, or
Yeah.
whatever. So when it comes to that, I think if you're coming to this earth, you have to produce a fire, you have to find the metal, and then you have to forge it. If there was one thing that was probably forged first, it would probably, in my opinion, this is not fact, because I don't know, but when I research all of these tools, it seems as if the gong is the first one, honestly, because they use tuning
Gong,
forks to tune pianos, to tune lyres, to tune
guitars.
yeah, guitars and things of that
Yeah.
nature, like old equipment. And this has been used for centuries. Tuning forks have been used for centuries. We obviously know that's older.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then the bowls, they're old too. So there's some ancient Tibetan bowls that are out there, and
Okay. Would
they're
you
very
like to talk
expensive.
about? We're going to start from the low to the high. We're going to start with the tuning forks. So, can you explain the tuning forks and demonstrate some of them and how it works and what it means and stuff for those that don't understand
Yeah, sure.
or may
So
not know, I should say?
yeah, so this is a 528 hertz. You can tell it's not that big. And this is an unweighted tuning fork. So when you go to the chiropractor, you'll see something like this sometimes, or to your doctor, and they'll hit it and then they'll put it on your body, or in a
Yeah.
joint to test.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about ohm, this is the ohm tuning fork. It's 136.1 hertz. It oscillates 136.1 rounds per second. So you won't really be able to see it vibrating. This one oscillates at 528 times per second. So this sound is lower than this one. And you won't be able to necessarily hear this because it is weighted. So the sound and the frequency is staying within. And I use a crystal boot to place this on the body for my clients so that they can get that vibration directly into their body. This one I use for sound purposes and wave it over the body so that you can get that frequency to go into your ears so that you can hear it and start functioning within that frequency so that it can start supporting you. And
Can
I'm
you
using
give
this.
us a demonstration of the
Yes.
the one with the little earmuffs on them? I call it.
Okay. So you won't be able to necessarily hear this one. So it is very deep.
I do. I hear it is deep though.
Yes. So,
Do it.
but
Can
when
you do
you,
it one more time?
sure.
I can almost feel it through the computer.
Yeah,
I'm
so
serious.
it's a deep tone, but what I was saying is that you can't even see it vibrating really. I mean, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. That's how fast it's vibrating.
Yes. So I can see it because I'm right in front of it, but it's almost unseeable unless you're staring directly at it. And this one is the 528.
Now, can you touch the body with that or just over the body or the ears?
This one is over the body.
Uh-huh.
So I'll comb over the body or I'll put it next to the ears. And it sounds very peaceful and angelic. I don't know if you can hear it back there.
Can you get a little closer? One more time, because there was a point where it sounded a little closer. Yeah.
There you go.
That's the 528. That's supposed to be the one that does the physical healing of the DNA in the
Yes,
body and
DNA
things like that, I believe,
repair and
right?
assisting in
528.
spiritual elevation, things of that nature. Yes.
But that's interesting because 528 adds a 15. Excuse my numbers a second. 528 adds a 15, which is 6, and 6 deals with health, which I think is
Yes.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what is that you're holding? What's in it?
Oh, it's just a little candle.
No, I saw nothing in it. I was only kidding. Maybe you had some food or
Uh,
candy in it, you know? Go ahead. That's
so
all.
this is
Okay.
so when people talk about bowls and singing bowls, this is specifically a singing bowl. And
You mean there's a
this,
difference?
yes.
Whoa. Now I see.
So this is some bowls like this are singing bowls as well, but I'll get into the aspects of that. This is a Tibetan bowl. This is a crystal singing bowl. So the crystal singing bowl has a specific frequency it is tuned to. A lot of people hear about 432 hertz. This is a 432 F sharp bowl, and or F key of F to F sharp. It just depends on the manufacturer. And this bowl has one sound, and you have to sing it. The singing is the playing aspect. So when you're
Really?
playing this bowl, you're playing it to get a specific frequency targeted to a specific intention. 432 is what is considered the frequency of love. And I love
Really?
this. I love this frequency. Um, if you can hear it.
Yeah, so can you give us Oh, that's nice. That has a nice ring to it, as they say.
Yes. So
Can
this
you
is
do it one
called
more time?
sure. Actually, I'll sing it for you. So this is how you would sing the bowl.
That's amazing. Can one more time, please? I mean, you know, and then swirl it around again. What it seemed like it had a certain resonance to it about So you mean just by tapping that bowl and that you're holding is that would be that considered a mallet? Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's a mallet.
Yes, this is a mallet.
Okay. So the Tibetan bowl, the metal bowl, that now what does that do?
So hold on one second. Let me move this microphone. So a lot of people would consider this a Tibetan singing bowl. You don't sing this bowl. This comes from the Himalayan mountains first, and then the monks and everyone, because of religious persecution, they had to run to Tibet. So this bowl was made in Tibet, but these are actually Himalayan bowls or
Mm-hmm.
healing bowls.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they say over there. For us that are tourists or those that are picking up these bowls because of the terminology, because people usually purchase the bowls that have the brass lathing rim, and then it's black here with some writing, and then it's brass at the bottom, and they'll take their mallet and then they'll they'll play around like this to get a sound, but it's only one sound. Whereas these Tibetan healing bowls have various frequencies. And specifically, this is considered a D bowl. So this is supposed to be in the key of D. But when you play it, it doesn't have just one tone, it has many.
You know, the sound that it resonates almost sounds like a particular church or whatever it is. You know how you hear gonging sound?
Yes. And then you have two different mallets. So if you want to do a soundscape around somebody's body or to assist someone in just moving some energy around, sometimes I'll play this with this mallet because it produces a higher frequency. And it gives more of the feminine tones. The higher pitches is what they call it, the feminine tones. When you use a mallet such as this one, I'm quieting it down right quick. When you
That's
use
how you
a
quiet it
felt
down?
mallet,
That's
yes.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to put my hands on it because we have a lot of oils on our hands. And when
Mm-hmm.
you touch the rim, sometimes it can get dirty and then it won't produce the clarity of the sound that you're looking for.
That I was going to ask, does that affect the sound when you do that? Okay.
It does. So with the felt mallet, there's many different felt mallets. I got this one specifically because it's a little harder because these bowls are kind of big and heavy and you want to produce a nice, loud, clear sound. But this produces more of the masculine or lower tones when you strike it with the felt mallet. This
A
is more
totally
so
different
for
energy,
healing.
a
Yes.
totally different sound, a totally different sound from the same bowl.
Mhm.
And that's the most amazing thing. Can we do the demonstration one time of that bowl with the two mallets for
Oh,
those
sure.
that may have just tuned in? And my guest, by the way, my special guest is Nicki Monty, who is a Reiki healer, master teacher. That is more soft and more resonant.
Yes.
That is amazing. Now, how did you come into the bowls? How did that cross your path?
You know, I was looking online and I said, you know, I have an affinity for metal. I really love metal and and I love skins. So I do have drums here as well, but that's for another day.
Okay.
But the bowls, for some reason, I really like the idea of these round everything that is really a healing tool. If you think about it, it comes in a round form, or it's round somewhere. Trumpets, flutes, all these different instruments, they have this roundness. And I said, what can I utilize that's round that has all these frequencies? And I had my white bowls, and I said, I want something that actually assists in more than just seven keys. So I
Hmm.
came to the bowls by doing some research, and I noticed that when I purchased my bowls, I thought I was getting something similar to the white bowls. But then when they came and they were unpacked and I started playing them, I was shocked because they had so many different frequencies. And then I called and I kept calling for more and ordering more. And I have a collection, I think, of 13 bowls. I have a really, really big
I was
bowl.
going to ask you about how many bowls do you have, and I guess they come in all sizes.
Yes, they do. So
Now, the
this
one
is,
you showed us was the kind of the large one. Can you just reach for the small white bowl? Does that make sense?
this
Is
one.
that small?
This is one size larger than the smallest bowl. The small bowl is a little bit smaller than this.
Okay, can you show us your biggest bowl if you can lift it?
Which one?
The white bowl.
Yes. I have to go and grab it. Hold on one
Oh,
second.
okay. All right. My special guest is Nicki Monty, as you see, Reiki Master Teacher, Frequency Sound Healer. Please contact on Instagram, my spiritology. and Cash App $ My Spiritology. She has beautiful. Whoa, whoa, that's no joke.
Yeah, so this is my largest bowl. This is 14 inches.
Can we hear
And
this? What the sound like? Is it possible
sure,
you can hold it and make a sound?
sure, I could put it in my lap if you can see it here in my lap.
Okay, let me take this off so people can see it. Okay. That has a whole different sound or energy to it.
Yes.
Can we do it one more time? And although it's very low, I can still kind of hear it coming through my end, if that makes sense.
So these are the same key, just one octave higher. This
Really?
is the difference in using all these tools, because there are tuning forks that offer the sound of this white bowl that are a little bit bigger than this. And it's the same sound. It's just not as prominent. But
As
it's
this
the
one.
same. This is C and this is C.
Yeah, it's almost like a high C, a middle C, and a low C.
This is a high C. This is the middle C.
Okay. All right. All right. How many tuning forks do you have? You know, not to get in your business. And how many? You got 13 bowls.
13 Tibetan bowls.
Hold it. You got the metal bowls too? How many of those you got?
13. I have 7 white bowls. So I have a set of 7.
Wow.
And I have, hold on one second, 13 Tibetan bowls. And then I have 8 tuning forks.
8 tuning forks?
8 tuning forks, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I would say I think that is absolutely amazing. Somebody put there at the
Yes.
bottom of your screen something about a root chakra
That is the
bowl.
root chakra. Yes, it is.
Okay, go
C280,
stir up knowledge,
286.
entertainment, edutainment. Okay.
Yes.
So evidently those persons must be familiar with the bowls. Now, what
Yes.
does a root chakra bowl mean? Does that refer to the 7 chakra centers or the meridians that we have in the body?
Yeah, so when we speak of chakras, there are 7 that main centers that a lot of healers tend to lean towards. So you have the root chakra all the way. What did she say? I'm sorry.
She says, do you hear the different tones? I would imagine with the bowls, they create different tones. I guess that's what the same person was
Yes,
saying.
so in the white bowl set of 7, yes, this set is specifically catered to the 7 chakras. So the root chakra goes in the more of the, some people say it goes all the way to the feet. Some people say it's right between your legs, below the area where your sexual organs sit. So I say that's in the thigh area or
Yeah.
down at the feet. And then some people say there's an earth star chakra there and one that actually feeds into the ground. And then there's a soul star chakra and another chakra. There's so many. There's endless energy centers, but the ones that we work with specifically are 7. And that comes from the root, the sacral, which is considered orange. Root is red. Sacral's orange. Solar plexus is yellow. Heart is either green or pink, your preference. Throat chakra is blue. First eye, not third eye, because I always say it's my first eye. That's indigo, and then the crown or blue, another blue, and then indigo or violet. There's so many different variations, but there's so many organs in our body and things that are going on around all of these energy centers, like your brain, your thyroid and your larynx. You have your heart and your lungs. You have your intestines, liver, kidneys, spleen, pancreas, reproductive organs, and blood vessels. And all of these organs and these centers in your body also vibrate at different frequencies. So this is specifically pertaining to energy centers and these frequencies that come from the knowledge of these energy centers. I personally, it can be remote too, right? If you're referring to healing, yes, you can do remote healing as well with sound.
Right, because the person just asked Christelle, can it be remote? In other words, can you, let's say you live in Atlanta, I live in New York,
Hmm.
and I wanted to use your sound healing services.
Hmm.
You mean you can actually do that? I don't have to physically be in your presence, although I would imagine physically being in your presence is much, much better
Yeah,
than remote.
yeah,
But
I prefer to work in person, and the reason why is because the gong is not going to sound the same. The bowls will remotely, but when you get into all the other aspects of the equipment, hearing a gong in person is completely different than hearing it over a microphone, because a microphone could never do it justice in how you play gongs. They're
mhm.
not right up on the microphone. You have to play for the room, which means the noise of the gong is going to bounce off the walls. Excuse me, it's going to bounce off of you. It's going to travel through the room. And to have it focused on a microphone, you're only going to get specific sounds. So gongs wail, gongs cry, gongs scream. Gongs
Are
are
you serious?
yeah, they do all kinds of things. And I have two of the same gongs, and they produce many different sounds. Like one, every gong is not the same. And then I also have this third one right
The one
here.
back there in the center.
Yes, that one. Yes,
Okay.
so this one is actually my master gong, because it produces the sounds that create the healing experience. This is my main one, and it was my first one. My second gong is the one that's right here. And my
Okay.
third one is excuse me, I'm in a pyramid. It's
Well,
this
that
one right
that
here.
makes sense. How many
Yeah,
gongs
so
do you have too? Nothing, that's amazing.
I have three, and I'll have four shortly. Because
They
I'm
look
a I'm
big.
like I'm a gong whore, straight up. I'm a I love gongs. I love what they do, and it's almost like a symphonic metal drum. I don't play it, just for sounds. I truly, once I'm done with the bowls and once I'm done with the tuning forks, it becomes another session in in-person healing.
Now,
And
Stirp says, nice, very calming MAB. I have no idea what that means. Do you know what it means from one person to another?
no, but thank you.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
That is amazing. Let me ask you, they look heavy, are they?
Yes. Yes, they are. I think one is 50 pounds and one is 45 pounds. This one back
Okay.
here is maybe about 20 pounds.
Oh, that little one is 20 pounds?
Yeah, it's not
And the one
light.
to your immediate left.
This is my heaviest one. This is
I
my
thought the
heaviest
one
one.
right behind you was your heaviest one.
Oh no, no.
Okay, now the one right behind you, how much does that weigh?
Right behind me here
No, no,
or
right
here?
behind you, right.
This one is about 45. This one is about
Pounds?
50. Yes, pounds.
Are you serious? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, not. I know you're serious, but
Yes, because it takes so much brass and so much metal, like nickel, brass, copper, just to make that. And when you think of brass and when you think of nickel and copper, they're pretty dense metals. And to work with them and forge them in the fire, so let me just say this, the gong right here is an unlathed gong. So it looks very ugly or gritty or dirty or raw because it's one that came right out of the fire. And when
really,
it comes out of the fire, it produces completely different sounds than if you lathe them with like this brass, because this is the same material, just polished. So they polish it up and they scrape it and do all these things just to produce this beautiful shiny um, look that you're seeing right now. They all create different sounds. Um, Even the sizing between these two are very different. This is 24 inches. This one is 39, and this one behind me is 40. Two completely different
Now,
sounds.
you know, I got to ask you a question. Do they have a gong larger than the one that's behind your back?
Yes.
Really?
They have 80-inch gongs, they have 100-inch gongs, they have
Hold up now.
I
You said the one behind you is 45 inches?
no, so this one is 40,
Yeah.
this one is 39 or 38.5, and this one is 24.
So when you saying you got something 80, that means that means
No,
if you
no,
put
not
that.
me. No, no, no. They made gongs that are 80 inches and 100 inches.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In other words, if you had an 80-inch gong in your house, that would literally be behind your back over your head. That's how big it would be.
Yes, it would be taller than me by
Wow.
much. By much. So it would span probably half of the wall. I've yet to see one in person, but I've seen 44 inches, I've seen 52 inches. It's another level. It really is, but I don't think it takes that much in order to assist somebody in healing. It's really at that point a showpiece, and it's something that really all these pieces should be honored in their own right and not played just for any specific purpose. And sometimes you'll see, let's just say, for example, if the New York Philharmonic calls for a specific crashing sound, they won't use cymbals. They actually use gongs in philharmonics and in theater and things of that nature to bring about specific emotions and aspects of change and transition in specific scenes or in specific portions of a piece of music. So
You know, I think that's
I've seen
amazing.
some before, yeah.
I think
I've
that's
yet to see it
amazing.
in person myself, but I have seen where people actually utilize it.
Well, King Simon asked me to ask you if you know Sting International and Don Walsh, producer of house music.
Don Walsh, I'm familiar with, yes, not Sting International, but I'm very familiar with a lot of people in the New York house music scene, specifically Timmy
Because you
Register.
used to do house music scenes, right?
No, I still do. It's just I'm not as active as I used to be. And I've been called to do some things this month. I'm just still questioning because just the way things are going. And it's just very heart wrenching being in public and doing festival or being on stage and then people are masked up. And it's just so impersonal now, because it's such a scene of love and upliftment and freedom. And it's just not the same. So it hurts my soul.
I know it
It
does.
hurts my soul, but I'll probably look up Sting International. And there's a lot of people that I do know that I don't know their names, but they know me. Um, it's a very strange world because I'm one that sits in the corner, and when I come out, I come out, and when I go home, I go home. I was always a hermit, and I was a dancer too. I love to dance, so it's a long story.
Okay, well, listen, you've demonstrated the tuning forks, you've
Hmm.
demonstrated the bowls. Now, can you demonstrate the gongs? Can you do all three? If I'm not,
Sure. It's just one thing is I don't know if it's going to compress, so you just let me know if the sound changes a little bit or
okay.
if it starts to muffle on your end because these gongs are very deep. And if you play low and high together, then with this specific microphone, then you may not get all the quality of sounds
Yeah,
that you
well, for those, hold up, wait a minute, let me get this straight. For those of you who are tuning in, you got to understand this is by computers. This is not actually capturing the essence of a sound. I would imagine you should either go to a person such as Nicki Monty and go to her office or home or wherever this is, and really um, get the full effect. But or if you live in your respective cities, I'm sure. Have you met other people from different states, if that makes sense, Nikki, who does the same thing, like people here in New York or people in California, or when you went to Miami, or whatever the
Oh,
case is?
in Miami, yes. Miami, definitely yes. And there's one person that I'm actually looking forward to working with in the future in Miami. In New York, I've yet to find anyone, but that's just not where I am geographically. But I'm looking to network with people all over the country, specifically with people that are of the melanated persuasion to assist those in the communities where there's been a lot of damage. There's been a lot
Mm-hmm.
of
Trauma.
problems and
Yeah.
trauma, yes,
Yeah.
because I work with a lot of people, specifically women, and now I'm being called to work more with men because men have trauma too. We
Try
keep
big time.
discounting, yeah, we
Try
keep
big time. We
discounting what
we
men
just
have gone
mask it
through.
more, but it's the same.
Yeah, so to create avenues of connection so that we can make suggestions to healers that are authentic, not just Reiki, not just sound, but traditional aspects of healing, Aboriginal, Native, Indigenous healing, African spirituality, whatever people are tied to. Sound seems to be the interlocking piece because there are people that heal through sound with African traditions with drumming. They have
Mm.
djembes. Then you
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
other sound healers in native traditions where they use where they have powwows. So there's music everywhere in aspects of healing. It's not just this type of healing. It's all encompassing. So if there is a healer that you can get to that you can trust that understand, you know, that sound brings up things and there has to be aftercare. There has to be some type of understanding of what is required for the community after this sound moves this energy through your body and moves other things out of your body so it can make space for healing to actually transpire and incorporating sound with everyday experiences so that you can actually have fulfillment
Well,
and
you said
relaxation.
something very interesting, which is aftercare. What about before care? So when a client comes to you, all right, do you just say, here, lay on the table and dong, 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 or you kind of, can you tell us the process? So, no, I
Look,
know you're
so
classy. You're
no,
better. I
because
know you're classier than that.
my
But what
process,
happens is, I'm
yeah.
saying so for a person, if they can't get to you and they're another city or state, what they should expect when they first come, especially initiates, the first time. So, how do you explain to a first time person to come in and they see all
Oh,
of those gongs and stuff? What's the process?
so this is my process, and I don't mean to discount or shame or say anything about anyone else because I've had people say I work extra hard, and I do because I care. And
That makes a big
and
difference, and you can
that
always
is
tell when somebody cares too.
yeah, and that is the one thing when clients come to me because I understand trauma. I've had my own trauma. I'm still processing my trauma and moving through that. And while I'm doing my own healing work, I'm understanding the layers that are being peeled back. Just because I do healing work does not mean I'm not a person. I have to have an understanding of what my clients are going through and even to do this work. So, a lot of us that are healers have gone through traumatic circumstances, situations, life altering events, near death, dealt with death very closely, and all in between. So, because of some of the experiences and traumas that I've gone through, I utilize sound to support myself, which is why I have such an understanding of it and how it works, which is why I put so much care in. And when people come to me, I say, don't have any expectations. When you go to someone like this, you should, the less expectations you have, the better, because sound is going to teach you, sound is going to do what it needs to do, period. But when you come to someone that's healing or assisting you, because we can't do the work for you, you have to commit to it yourself. Just like processing numbers when you're utilizing numerology. What is your best
Mm-hmm.
day?
Mm-hmm.
XYZ. It's the same thing, integrating your healing experience with the assistance of the healer, not the healer doing the work for you. So you're coming with a commitment to start your journey or to continue healing on your earth walk. That's what I call it, an earth walk. While you're
Mm-hmm.
in this physical body,
Mm-hmm.
transmuting and animating yourself in these ways, whatever moves us, you're coming to myself or to someone else to assist you in that walk. When you walk in the room in my space, I sit you down and I make you as comfortable as possible. And we drink tea and we have conversations and I get to know you a little better and I share some of my story with you. You share some of your story with me or whatever makes you comfortable. and we get to know each other on a first name basis. And then when you're ready, I lay you on my table or I lay you on the floor, wherever you're most comfortable. And then I get busy. I do Reiki with it and incorporate crystal healing along with sound therapy. And I'm opening energy centers and assisting in movement of energy with spirit, with ancestors, with helpers and transient positive mitigating forces. I say lots of prayers and I do a lot of chanting prior to the client coming so that the room and the space is set up so whatever transpires in here it doesn't leave with them. They can leave refreshed and renewed. And even though I say my sessions are an hour and a half, they seem to never be
No,
that.
I was gonna say that sounds like it's listen, that
Yeah,
sounds like it's more than an hour and a half. So in other words,
yeah.
just be prepared to just come. Actually, I would say the best way is to come with no expectation of time until you've done the work.
Right. And
If that
comfortable
makes sense.
clothes. And comfortable clothes. Because we're going to be sprawled out. There's bowls everywhere. There's gongs turned. I'm sitting there sweating, because it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work, but I call that my mental and spiritual and physical exercise all in one. And while you're receiving, the one that's working on you is receiving as well because the energy is being channeled through and the sounds are receiving sound as I'm sharing sound with you. So I'm learning you. I'm teaching myself as I'm working with you because every experience is different. Every client is different. So really the only expectation you should have is relaxation. That's the number one thing, relaxation. If you're not relaxed when you go into a session or when you're coming out of a session, that would be a question mark.
Now that
So,
brings the question that I was thinking about. Have you ever had a client or patient, however you might refer to them, that's been resistant? Does that make sense?
yes, I have.
What do
And
you do in a case like that? Do they feel it's like, this is just you just make a lot of noise and sound and whatnot?
no, it wasn't
And why is
necessarily,
it, you think?
yeah, it wasn't necessary. It was resistance to a point where they thought they know what they need and they just felt that they needed more. And sometimes people come and they come for sound and they think there's going to be this spiritual transition. No, it's integration. So let's just say, for example, if people do plant medicine works with you, but it's
Hmm.
not going to change your life. It can
Hmm.
change your life, but it's not going to just change it for you. You have to have that intention as well. So if you have an expectation, you're going for spiritual healing or physical healing, let's just say to a doctor, they give you a pill. The pill will fix a portion of the problem, but it's not the ultimate solution. The ultimate solution lies within yourself and your own actions. So coming with no expectations allows you to have the full experience.
Okay,
That's where the resistance comes in.
that's interesting. In other words, some people come with more expectations than what is, not understanding the basic understanding and the purpose of sound healing.
Yes. So I
Okay.
also do a lot of education with that as well. So I talk with clients or I talk with people that are interested and I make sure that they're understanding this is what it is. This is not magic. It's not secret. It's sacred. When you're coming here, you're coming and you're committing to this. You don't ever have to come back to me again. It's not about money. It's about you having the experience you need to assist you in transitional moments or uplifting moments or anything in between. That's it.
Um. Now, we've been holding on. Can you demonstrate those gongs, please?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa,
So
that's
you
a
see
big
this
mallet,
mallet.
boy.
You see this mallet. This is a very big mallet. This is to bring out the deepest or some of the deepest tones in the gong, depending on where
Mhm.
you hit it. Every gong has a sweet spot. I also use this mallet to bring out higher tones in the larger gongs and the lower tones in the middle gong. And this one brings out the highest, some of the highest frequencies based on a mallet. The
Mhm.
smaller the mallet, the more higher tones you're going to get. So that's where you get your wailing, your crying, your screaming from the gong. And
Really?
not an uncomfortable scream like a child or a mother screaming, but almost like It's so hard to explain. It's like something you have to
Well,
hear.
here's now, if you don't mind, can you bang each one with each of the mallets? I hate that, just out of
Oh, yes.
so people can
Yes.
get a sense of what the sound is on each, all three. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Our special guest is Nicki Monty, as you see. She is a sound therapist, a Reiki master teacher, and she's now going to demonstrate the use of the gongs, as you see. Yes. Okay. We're ready.
Okay. So I'll start with the smallest mallet.
Okay. I can imagine actually being there live in a room like that, how that must really sound.
Mallet
The
number
next one.
2.
Now, what mallet is that one for?
This one is for the mid-range for these larger mallets. And this is for the lower range for this mallet. I mean, the lower range for this gong, mid-range for these gongs.
Okay. I can definitely hear the difference with that one. Very interesting.
This mallet I cannot use on the smaller gong. It'll produce a very deep sound, but in order to actually make the gong sing, I would have to hit it hard, and this mallet will dip the smaller gong.
Really?
I'll play these two.
Okay, yeah, we can. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. It's almost like they're all in sync and stuff. Question. I noticed in some you played near the edge and in some in the center. Does that produce a different sound effect? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. The outer the outer rim will have higher frequencies. The closer you get to the rim, the higher the frequency. There is a center portion right here,
Yeah.
which most gong players will avoid because
Why is that?
because the sweet spot is around this space. This is the center portion where they start to really lathe, and usually, okay, let me put it like this. The traditional gong that you see is usually a chow gong. The chow has a dark circle right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never play this circle because within that circle there are different tones, and it's a lot louder. It's not celebratory, it's not healing. When you get outside in this portion of the gong here, this is where you'll find your sweet spots. And as you extend further, you'll find more sweet spots, but the sound gets higher than in the center where it's a little bit lower.
Okay.
So, and I play the center sometimes, but it's just a very abrasive sound that doesn't really produce a lot of healing sounds or a healing experience because you don't want to shock somebody. in the midst of a session. So it's a build up and then it's a bringing down. And if you hit it in the center, you get a bassy note with a high, and it's not something that is considered a healing sound. I try to stay away from abrasiveness and shocking frequencies, so I just avoid that area altogether.
There is an art to everything. See, had you left it up to me, I'd have been banging all over the place. Okay,
No,
but
most people do. Most people do, but it's okay. Everyone learns in their own time, and when you have people that are demonstrating, and everyone plays different. There's no wrong way or right way to do it. That's just my way. And most people that are gong players will not play that middle section unless they're using a ball that looks similar to this, and they'll take it and they'll move it around the gong very slow, and it produces like this whale sound. If you've ever heard whales
Yeah,
that have been
yeah,
recorded
yeah,
underwater, it
yeah. They
sounds
have
like that.
long wailing sound, as they call
Yes.
it. But
So
that's
there's
amazing. You mean most gong players will not hit that center if possible?
they will not. They will not.
Is
And
that the
I've
golden
seen it. I've
rule?
seen it so many times, and they're like, "No, I won't do it. I won't do it." It's something that just is not done. And there's actually gongs that are made to play the center specifically. They're called nipple gongs. So it looks
That
like a
makes sense.
nipple. It looks like a
Really?
nipple. And those gongs are specifically produced, well, not specifically anymore. They come from Thailand and Indonesia. So you play it in the center, and then it produces this bell-like sound rather than a plethora of different sound waves like these do. So there's so many different gongs. it's,
Wow.
it's so expansive, but it's really beautiful.
Well, I want to, in closing, because we went over hour, I've been enjoying this. And I mean, people have chimed in. I mean, it's just, first of all, I need to thank everybody. Uh, and evidently, Stirrup Master has been the one who has made the biggest contribution. Must be in the gong because it says KSP, whatever that means. I agree. No expectation, no disappointment. Thank you, Stirrup
That
Knowledge.
is true.
Obviously,
Yes.
she is very aware of your work. And it's very, very interesting. That's one of the things. Professional people make it look so easy. Like I'll go into a music studio and I'll take us off the air, thinking I know what I'm doing. So it just goes to show you. So any parting words that you would like to share with people? And I want to make sure that, by the way, and listen, this young lady I've had the pleasure of meeting her family. She has two beautiful ladies. So please reach out to Nicki Monty. For those of you who live in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, what would be the tri-state area? Here it's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. What would be the tri-state area
There's
your way?
there's no tri-state. It's
It's just
just
it's just Georgia, Atlanta.
it's
Okay.
just parts. It's different zones, different counties. Fulton County obviously is where Atlanta is based. There are places within the Atlanta area that I'm starting to branch out to and work with. Primarily, you can find me at Iwi Fresh with the Reiki Vibrations team. If I'm not there, then I'm here in my own space.
Can you repeat where they can find you? You
On
said Kiwi
Instagram.
Fresh?
No, Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
But
Okay.
yes, you can find me. The best way to contact me is through Instagram because I'm transitioning into a different space now where I'm trying to find something where I can really hone in on my talent
Sure.
and
Sure.
not rely on other spaces, but co-creating my own with others that are actually doing sound so that we can branch out and not just work out of our homes or out of other people's spaces, but somewhere where sound members or sound healers can collectively work together with other healers and curate experiences for people.
That
So
makes
sometimes I'm
all
at
the
Iwi
difference.
Fresh. Yeah, sometimes I'm at Iwi Fresh, and there's another space that I'm looking at. But I want to work with more sound healers so we can all work together and uplift our communities. But primarily, I can be found through Instagram.
Well, also, please, for those of you who would like to make a donation, because uh, I'm not going to even ask you the price of all those gongs and bowls and tuning forks, but it don't look cheap. So For her to continue to work, please help a sister out by
Thank
going to
you.
Cash App and putting $ My Spirit Talo G. Okay, you see it
Thank you.
spelled right there. If you ain't got a pen or pencil, take a snapshot or take a screenshot and hold that. And I can't thank you enough. But hold on one second. I just want to actually this Wednesday, actually this particular month, because I have so many guests lined up, I'm going to actually start. I save Mondays for topics, Wednesdays for guests. So you are the first one to break the ice for Monday, Wednesday. So I think for October and November, October and November, Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm just going to have guests. That's how many people I have lined up. And by the way, I just want to take a moment to show them one person I'm going to have. They live in your neck of the woods too. And his name is Lorenzo Sanford. He is an astrologer in the area. All righty. So he's going to be my guest this Wednesday and talking about astrology and things like that. But I met him when I was in Atlanta back in, when was that? I met you there too. When was that? March when I met you?
May.
Same thing. March or May, same thing.
I wanted to show the guests one more thing.
Please do. Please
So
do.
that they
Hold
can
on.
relax
Hold
their
on. Let
way
me
into the evening.
hold on. Let me do one thing first. I want to take something off. Let me do this. So you have their full attention. Let me take off the. Okay. There we go. Because I want them to see everything. All right. There you go.
Okay.
And you would
So
like to.
I have an order of things that I do with clients. The way that I talked about everything, that is really the order of things. Usually I end with my ancestral drum, which is made from buffalo hide because I am Aboriginal to this land. And I also have a rattle that I finish off with to honor the
Oh, yeah.
ancestors.
You talked about that. Can you show
Yeah.
that?
I can, yes. But I wanted to show this because I
Please
want
do.
people
Please do. Please
to
do.
understand that this is something that you can have hanging in your doorway to bring in good vibrations, prosperity, positive energy, um, and just to keep yourself uplifted throughout the day. Sometimes we don't see the sun because it gets gray and cloudy, especially in the wintertime. And I'm familiar with New York, New Jersey, Philly,
Yeah.
Cleveland, Detroit, Indiana. I lived all through there. So I incorporated this because sometimes when we're in dark spaces, we need light. And this is how I bring in light for clients.
That's beautiful.
So these are called Zephyr chimes. You can actually find them online.
What are they called again?
ZAPHIR chimes. So
ZAPHIRs. Chimes.
yes,
Okay.
if you order one of these, but if you don't find a tuning fork or if you're not interested in a tuning fork, play this for yourself first thing in the morning. Look, it's such a beautiful, peaceful sound. And when you play it in front of your face or over your body and move it around and around your head, it assists in clearing and bringing down positive energy for yourself.
Now, before we went on, you had another one of those. You got that?
Yes.
Now, do they come in different tones also? Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes, they do.
And different lengths, I see. Different
Yes.
sizes.
Yes, to produce, that's again, the size produces different frequencies, different sounds, different octaves.
Now, for some reason, I like this sound.
This is personally my favorite.
Yeah, I like that
My
sound.
favorite
I like
one.
that sound.
This is the water chime.
Oh, no
So
wonder. Okay, that
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I
yes.
think I can let you go now. I've went over my hour mark, but
Okay.
this is so no. I want to say, is there anything? Hold up. Let me do this one more time so people know, because people wait to the last minute. So there it is right there. Again, her name is Nicki Monty. She is a Reiki master teacher, frequency sound healer. And thanks for explaining all the sounds, because people have no ideas how sound affect us, which is why you get this is why people get awards in like Hollywood for music. Okay, because music has just as much as
Mhm.
effect as the visual image you see on the screen. It
Yes.
produces the mood and whatnot. So it's very important. On her Instagram, please go to My Spiritology. Although Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp has been down, I think it is back up. So when you do check it, give her feedback, follow her. But y'all can also follow her with some Cash App contributions too. Okay, $ My Spiritology. Alrighty, Nicki Monty, we're gonna have you back again at some point when you got another gong, maybe 80 inches taller than you. Okay. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Well, thank
But
you.
thank you. Thank you very much. This has been a very enlightening type of situation. And I hope all of you too have gotten this. And so wherever area you live at, try to see if you can get a person that's in gong, but let it be clear about everybody. You know, it's interesting. You always got people that are authentic, and then you got some people that is not kind of like real cool. And so hopefully by listening to Nicki Monty, you should know that when you just rush right in and sit on the table without going through a process of being explained, no, everybody may not serve you tea, okay? But the point is that evidently, I guess your approach is to get them relaxed and comfortable and get them
Yeah.
receptive to the work that you're about to perform. I imagine that's the purpose too.
Yes. And
Okay.
everybody can't work with everybody. You have to remember energy is very important. And some people just don't have it in themselves to let their ego step to the side so they can really work with you. So be very mindful of who you're letting lay hands on you, who's administering healing, and see where their mind is and see what they're willing to share and discuss with you. Because it's about openness and real healing at this point. We can't do anything less. We shouldn't be doing anything less. So
Okay.
take care of yourself and know that spirit will guide you where you need to go for the experience that you need so that you can continue on your journey.
Well, I want to thank you. This has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. So, for those in the Atlanta area, Fulton County, whatever surrounding counties, y'all can get to Atlanta, get to Nicki Monty, and really, really have the experience of that. I'm sure it'll be the next time I'm in the area. I'm gonna give you a call, see if you're in the neighborhood, and see for myself, so I can come back and rave about her sister. Okay. But
Yes.
Nikki, thank you to your beautiful children, Naomi, Marilyn, to Brother Casey. God bless all of you, and to you especially, Ashe. All
Yes.
righty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the experience. It's very nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
So
for
y'all just
allowing me to share. Thank you.
anytime. So y'all just think that gonging was just a 1, 2, 3 banging on things. So hopefully you got a wonderful experience from Nicki Monty, and I mean that sincerely. Please support the sisters right there at the bottom of the screen. She is a Reiki master teacher, frequency sound healer. Instagram is the best way to contact her since Instagram is up and running. Please do that now. And for those that please, you can see that equipment does not come cheap. Okay, you don't get it in the 99-cent store. So you know what I'm saying. So y'all go and make sure y'all donate some cash to Nicki Monty and her family so she can continue the great work and heal people and whatnot. But in the meantime, I want everybody to have a nice day. As you know, on Wednesday, my special guest will be from the same Atlanta area, astrologer Lorenzo Sanford. Wow, almost went blank a second. Okay, good. Everybody, y'all have a very nice day. God bless you. Take care.